Hi everybody, it's Miss Janicki here with your weekly assignment for English 10 for April 20th through 24th. So as we progress with these online assignments, just the same kind of guidelines as we posted last week, your assignment will be graded pass-fail. The quarter will be graded pass-fail as well. And your assignment will be posted by noon on Tuesdays, and then it's due no later than noon on Monday, 6 days later. All right, so this assignment should take you around 120 minutes to complete. Again, teacher support, we are in meetings and planning from 8 to 12 every day, and then we have student support time from 1 to 3. So if you need a video conference call to go over something, we can arrange a time between 1 and 3 and make that happen, no problem. And I'm also available to you by email or remind at any time. So if you have any questions, let me know. All right, so we're still in this unit called Responses to Change. We are still looking at how does perception or belief affect people's ability to adapt to change. And we are looking at the poems that we first visited last week. This week we're kind of building on those poems. We're going back to do a deeper read of those poems, and then we're writing about those poems. So there will be a short essay this week. So first in your day book, this is kind of fun. You're going to choose a short chore to complete with your eyes closed or blindfolded. Some examples might be brushing your teeth, taking a shower, making your bed, putting away your clothes, something simple, but you want to complete the chore with your eyes closed or blindfolded, okay? Then you want to write about the following things. How were you able to see things without the power of sight? What other powers did you use? What other senses did you use, maybe, to help you? How did you feel while unable to use your eyes? Did it make the idea of venturing into the unknown more frightening or exciting for you? Explain. How did you feel when you were finally able to open your eyes? Explain. And how has this experience impacted your feelings about people who live with some sort of physical or psychological challenge that makes difficult those things that we take for granted? Okay, so you're going to complete that little activity. You're going to write about it, have an answer to each of those bullet points in your day book. Okay, then when you're ready, you're going to upload all that into the space on It's Learning, or send me photos of your response. Okay, so next we are looking at We Grow Accustomed to the Dark again. You're going to read the poem a second time. Put a link on the PowerPoint to that, and there's also links in the assignment sheet. You're going to review the twist chart that you did for last week, and then you're going to answer the deeper reading questions. You can handwrite the answers to these questions, just number them and draw the chart, or take photos and turn in online. You can access it through here, also through the paper that I'm sending out. So when you get to it, you will see it looks something like this. We grow accustomed to the dark. This first question is asking you to categorize words from the poem in terms of their association with darkness or light. So you would write down some words that you associate with darkness, some words that you associate with light. Then you're just analyzing some closer thinking questions. And then this last part is asking you to paraphrase each stanza. So a stanza is like a paragraph, right? So each little paragraph within the poem, paraphrase what's the literal meaning, what's going on, just putting it in other words. Then over here, you're saying, interpreting it, what is the deeper or symbolic or figurative meaning here? So you want to think about the deeper meaning and what is she saying? What is she saying about sight? There's a lot of light and darkness contrasts in there. Okay, so that's We Grow Accustomed to the Dark. You're going to answer those deeper reading questions. And then you're going to do the same thing for Before I Got My Eye Put Out. You're going to read the poem a second time, review your twist chart, and then you're going to answer these deeper reading questions. There aren't as many for this one. This one, there's only 4 questions. Okay, so you're answering those 4 questions for Before I Got My Eye Put Out. And again, you can do those on paper, you can type them up to you. You're going to turn that stuff in at the end. Then the last piece, this is the part that should take you the most time. After you've reviewed both essays or both poems, you're going to be writing a short essay. Now, what I mean by short essay is about 3 paragraphs, okay? 3 paragraphs. And this is your prompt. Both of these poems are metaphorical. That is, they are not only about the literal loss of sight or physically stumbling in the darkness. Explore the metaphor of sight in Dickinson's poems by writing an analytical essay. So number 1, identify what the speaker loses in Before I Got My Eye Put Out and explain the speaker's reaction to that loss. Would the speaker in We Grow Accustomed to the Dark react differently to the same loss? So you're looking at each poem kind of individually about the speaker. So the speaker is the narrator of Before I Got My Eye Put Out. And it's asking you, would the speaker in We Grow Accustomed to the Dark react differently to the same loss that's being talked about in this poem, Before I Got My Eye Put Out? In your essay, explain your interpretation of the attitude of each speaker towards sight. This is where you're going to pull in your textual evidence. So you're going to explain the speaker in the first poem, Before I Got My Eye Put Out, what is their attitude towards sight, and use your textual evidence, and then explain how your textual evidence shows us what it is that you're saying is their attitude. Then you're going to do the same thing for the second poem, We Grow Accustomed to the Dark. Okay? So the number 3 just says to cite evidence from each poem to support your ideas and use the conventions of standard English. So really, these first 2 things are what's going to take up the bulk of your essay. I'd say probably the second part, explaining your interpretation of the attitude of each speaker, that right there can be 2 really well thought out paragraphs with your textual support. So if I'm saying you need 3 total, you probably have 1 paragraph to address the questions that are in number 1, and then 2 paragraphs for number 2, 1 for each poem. Okay? So that's what's being asked. And then, of course, the essay requirements, you should have 3 well-developed paragraphs. You should be using textual evidence from the poem. Don't forget that poem titles get quotation marks around them, and anything that you're quoting from the poem also gets quotation marks around it. Make sure you answer all parts of the question. There's an analysis rubric on It's Learning. And then the last thing I have in this PowerPoint is enrichment. So this is for fun. This is not required. There's a short video of a girl who could not see, and her father gets her a contraption that allows her to see stars for the first time. So the enrichment here is to write a reaction to the video, or you could write a response poem, or just enjoy it if you just want to watch it for fun. That's enrichment, and it's not required, but I thought it went well with this poem. Okay, so I want to show you how I have this laid out on the assignment sheet and the extra resources I put on here. So assignment sheet looks like this. There's your daybook entry. There is links to rereading your poem and the deeper reading questions, rereading the poem, deeper reading questions, the analysis, the actual prompt that was on that slide. Extra support. So I included those analysis videos and websites that were on last week's paper to help you. One for each poem. So We Grow Accustomed to the Dark. Here are 2 different sources to help you with analyzing the poem. And then Before I Got My Eye Put Out, here are 2 different videos. This one is an AP students. They're doing a think aloud about the poem. And this is like just a blog about analysis. Now for each of those, when you get on blogs and websites that are about the poem, at first it might just look like the poem. You have to scroll down to get to the analysis part, okay? Then I have a resource here for you about writing about poetry. So if you're kind of lost about how do I write about this poem without restating the whole poem, this is a really great tool to help you with writing about poetry, how to write about poetry. And then I also included that website about poetic devices. So all that is there for you in one spot. Also, these things are on It's Learning. You got the PowerPoint, the deeper reading questions, the rubric is right here, the prompt, and then the place to turn everything in. All right, so if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I hope you are staying safe, and I will talk to you soon. I thought maybe we would do another virtual meeting on Thursday at 2 p.m. So I'll go ahead and put a spot for that in It's Learning, and we'll give that a try again. Again, not mandatory, but if you want to talk more about these poems, or if you even want to have a one-on-one conference with me about your essay or your thoughts, just let me know. Shoot me an email, shoot me a remind. All right, guys, that's it. I'll talk to you later. Have a great week. Bye.